Alright guys, wanted to make a quick little video. We get a lot of questions about our valve assembly, how you inflate, how you deflate, how that process works. One thing to note real quick, this gauge here does not actually come with the system. We only have this gauge on our valve assembly here at our shop because this is the miniature boat lift that we take to a lot of trade shows. So when people ask how much PSI do you need, we can typically point to this when we are at a show. So picture this valve assembly without this here. Alright, it's pretty straightforward. It's operated by a three-way valve up top here. Okay, so if you turn the lever to the center as is, that's going to hold the air. Nothing can get in, nothing can get out. If you open up this valve here, it's just an open port. That's going to allow you to inflate with a raft inflator. I'll show you that in a second. Alternatively, that's also going to be how you deflate. And now on this side over here, we have a Schrader valve, or maybe some folks refer to it as a tank valve. That's where you'll use an air compressor, so I'll get to that in a second too. This little gray piece that juts out on the side, that's a relief valve. So if you did get to 3 psi, this relief valve, a spring would pop and start pushing the air back out, so you don't have to worry about overinflating and popping a bag. Now, one other thing to note is the valve assembly does come with these silicone plugs. We provide these plugs so during the season, you put these plugs in here so bugs, insects, anything doesn't crawl in there and maybe plug up the system. So when you are inflating, deflating, when you're actually operating the system, you want to remove these plugs. Alright, so now that we've got that, a few options to inflate. The bread and butter that we typically inflate, you can also buy this from us. It's a real good pump, Airhead 3 psi pump. It's nice and quick, it's lightweight, portable. It does run off of full 120 volt electricity, so that's something to keep in mind. But really with this one here, it comes with a handful of different fittings. And basically, you're going to want to find this fitting here. This is going to be kind of the largest end. The diameter of the end is the largest. If you were to use, maybe say this smaller one, it'll get you there. It's just going to take quite a bit longer comparative to this fitting. And now in this case here, if you're inflating with a raft inflator pump, we're going to turn that lever open. So that port is now open, alright? And in this case here, we're actually just going to hold the fitting directly in there. So you have to hold this the duration that you're inflating the bags. Once you get to about 2.5 to 3 psi, or when the bags are full, at that point you'll turn the lever and then you can remove the air hose. Alright? And now, alternative option, it doesn't always work the best. We don't recommend it too often, but it is a 12 volt pump. So it does have little alligator clips, clip onto a battery. A lot of these pumps, they don't get to the PSI that we want. They don't get to about the 2.5 to 3. These get to about a hair under 2. So if it's a smaller lift, it might work. If it's in a lot of mud, or if it is a large lift, this pump might not do the trick. So a workaround for that is to possibly use an air compressor. If you're gonna go that route with your air compressor fittings here, nothing fancy about this chuck. In this case here, you got again the Schrader valve or tank valve. So what you'll do is just hold it up onto place here, and with this you will turn the three-way lever that direction, which now opens up this side of the three-way. You hold it right onto there, start inflating. Once you get to the PSI, you can then close the valve again. Center is always going to close. Alright. One other option to inflate, we actually just started testing this this fall here, and it's a power inverter. So if you don't want to use the full 120 volt electricity, what you could do is get one of these power inverters. We will probably start stocking them pretty soon here. You would need the one that can get to 1100 watts, alright? So basically with this power inverter, it comes with little alligator clips, so you can clip this onto a battery, and then from there, the pump will plug into the end of the inverter. And so basically you'll be able to use this pump here while still running off of a 12 volt battery option. So nice little new feature that we're having. Now, one last thing about the valve assembly, I guess, would be the easy question of how do you deflate the bags. And again, since this port right here is open, well, to deflate the bags, you will just turn that lever that direction and the air will start coming out there. Again, in the, say, summertime when you're not operating the system, you do want to close this valve so nothing can get in to either of those two plugs there. And then again, you will want to, when not in use, put these silicone plugs back into these threads here. So again, no insects or anything can crawl in there. So apart from that, that should be anything, everything and anything. If you do have any questions, give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.